Hello everybody, I'm Smelter and welcome back to Foundry. As you can see, my profit is up. I'm looking pretty strong on that. But in terms of research, I'm at a stop because I can't make the tier 5 science packs. And the reason for that is because I don't have CPUs. So getting a CPU setup will be the main focus of today. But there are a couple other little things that we need to sort out, like the potential failure of my power system because I didn't know a certain little tidbit which could literally sink the whole factory. Anyway, we'll get into all of that. But the CPUs, yes, lots to do there. Let's get stuck in. So let's start with this power issue. I thought I'm making these fuel rods, these ignium fuel rods, and I thought, wow, we're gonna do so well and we don't have to worry about power anymore. Well, two things happened. One, I didn't have enough miners at the ignium mine, so this whole line just emptied. Fortunately, I had a bit of a backup and they do get used very slowly and the backup is building up again. But that's not the biggest problem. The biggest problem is, I'm gonna head down to the power station. Now you'll see I have two belts here. The problem here is that the boilers actually have an output. So you put the fuel rods in and they actually split the casings out. Now I didn't know that because I don't think that was in the previous version. But basically, there go some of them. But basically if this had filled up, this little slot over here, the machine would have just shut down. And that slot holds 200. So thank you very much for the comments. They were just in time because when I was told, these front two machines were sitting at 198. So I quickly put a belt in and you have to use the filter inserter. Well, maybe you don't need to, but I decided to use the filter inserter, which is only one lane. So I had to move the input belt out and then put the output belt in this way because the filter inserter only goes out one lane, and create a new line all the way back to the factory, which I have done over here. I brought it through here and up through the floor, and I put it into a balancer that the input is set to prioritize what is coming from the power station. So basically that means that this production has stalled, you would think, but I still see things coming on, and maybe this is a reason to get into the logic system. But for now, no, we're fine. Yeah, because none of these machines are running at the moment. I see a bit of volumeters being made, and that is, yeah, that's fine because that's just going into the fuel production. Cool. So we don't really need the logic system because these machines have switched off because the belt has stopped. And everything that's coming through now is coming through from the bottom. And I do have a buffer box at the bottom. So if it becomes a problem, I can just empty that box out and we're sorted. Another thing that I did was I added another couple of robot factories. And they were quite easy. So here's our first robot factory making the little transport bots. And then this is making the light bots. And then I have a little factory set up over here. Very simple. Advanced machinery parts, electronic components, steel and plates. And this is making the heavy transport bots, which are starting to build up, hopefully. And this one over here is probably the easiest one. Electronic components, steel plates, and machine components, and that is making the vacuum bots. Yeah, which are just really just starting to build up. Let's see if we can spot one coming out. There we go. Now the reason that I did those specific ones was, oh, cargo bay extension 7 is complete. That means I have more space on my space station, more storage space. Now those ones I picked specifically because if you go to the galaxy map, this planet here needed the heavy-duty transport bots, and so did this planet, and so did this planet. This planet also needed the vacuum bots, so I put those in as well. And then this little planet out here also needed the vacuum bots. So that's why I did those. So we're making bots for our market. Now these are not the most profitable bots, I don't think, but it's cool because we have established market dominance in our region, obviously. Then in this region we have 100% market share. So we're pulling the full market volume of 12,500 per hour. This one, it's smaller, 8,300 an hour, but we're at 100%. This one, we're at 78% because we haven't delivered the screen bot. So that's probably next on the bot list, but we still have the majority market share, and then this one is kind of building. We have majority, but it's a small majority. Once you've got market dominance, you'll get one of these little icons. So that's cool, and that's the reason why things look so spectacular on my income. And we're building up again. I've been doing some researches, upgrades. So good. All right, let's move over to the focus of the day. Oh yes, by the way, yes, the ignium running out. I just went and it's probably not a good fix, but I ran out of time. I only put a couple more miners in, so this is being used quite a lot more than I thought it was. So we're gonna have to be careful. Also, I've increased the number of tier 2 lava smelters down in this facility over there. Yep, I increased that from 6 lava smelters to 18 lava smelters because a couple of these processes use 120 per piece and 6 lava smelters only does 120. So we've got this location over here that uses 60 and I've got 2 machines. So that's 120 coming into this facility. That accounts for 6 lava smelters. Then a little bit further down the line, we're making the construction parts. If we go and have a look at that, there's another 120. So that's pretty much 12 tier 2 lava smelters. So I needed to add some more because there'll be more stuff happening down the line, but fortunately not as rough as that. Anyway, our space station has a lot of construction material that's full, so this is now stopped. This is backed up. Oh nice, we have 25,000 construction materials in this facility. Excellent. Give us a good start. Yeah, and that's why you want to build this one, even though it's huge, because this only holds 800. And that's definitely not going to be enough. Anyway, demand should slow down now because all of this is full. But right now I am looking at this area over here for our CPUs. And the reason for that is because, oh yeah, you'll notice I did a lot of changes. Now the belts still look spaghetti-ish, but they're actually more organized than they appear, and they're all upgraded. So are all the assemblers. So basically this has turned into a science and a few small parts. So right here we've got Science Pack 1, Science Pack 2, Science Pack 3, 4, and this one will be 5. And what I've done already is I've set up a facility firstly to sort out our need for the robot parts and the hydraulics. They will come in because those are the 2 requirements. But we also need CPUs. So yeah, this is quite involved. What I also did was I built a facility to make the polymer sheets, and I have added those to the bus because we need quite a lot of them, and I just figured, you know, this kind of a setup, it should be okay to do this, and it'll just take a step out of making circuit boards further down the line. So yeah, we've got a whole bunch. So yeah, we're making 180 polymer boards, and then I kind of more formalized the system for these energy cells, which are being fed. And then let's just have a look at these recipes. So the hydraulic piston takes steel and low density olumite, and that I'm making the olumite there, and the steel is coming in from the line somewhere. Yeah, over here. Okay, pretty easy. It puts out 12 per minute, so that's fine. This machine is purely just to feed the science packs, as is this machine, which takes in a few more things. So we've got the Fermilite sheets, which I'm still bringing from our little facility that's here, the first Fermilite facility. It's working, so why not? Advanced machinery parts, electronic components, and polymer board, and voila, we have everything that we need. And that is going through, and now we just need the CPUs. And I figure why not put the CPUs over here, because the CPUs are used for tier 5 science packs, but also for robot construction. So if we hop into our building thing, our crafting thing, the head of the personal assistant needs a CPU. So does the farmer robot head. The combat robot doesn't have a CPU in the head. It has one in the torso though, because, you know, yeah, whatever. The miner head and the science robot head. So yeah, we will need CPUs. So we might as well make a few. Now I might end up having more than one CPU factory, but that is fine. So what I probably am going to do is I'm going to have this platform ready for the CPUs, and I'm going to extend this out to put the landing pad. Yeah, the target ship landing pad will go behind this. That means I don't have to use up that real estate over there for it. And I really didn't have any plans for this location anyway, so why not? But I'm going to have to get myself some platforms. I have to get some preparations done. I have half built the mine, but there's still work to do there. And I also need to sort out the ratios and the factory, and let's have a look at that first. Okay, I'm going to head out to the Telluxite mine, and I'll come back to do this. And the reason I want to do the mine first is because I want to pick up a little bit of Telluxite so that we can measure things, because we need to check something out in a smelter, and you can't see the recipe for the smelter. Well, you can. I mean, if you go in here, you could see it and you could work it out, but yeah, but that's like too much maths. I want to do it visually with the crusher and smelter. All right, so let's head out there, look at the map first. We are going to this location. As you can see, I've done some blasting and stuff already. Speaking of which, I always forget to take explosives, but not this time. So let's go. And as we come over the mountain, we can see our little platform. Oh, did I forget the target pad? You know what, I think I did. Oh man, I'll be right back. No, it wasn't the target pad, it was the starting pad, but I got that as well. And we can just fly through the valley, and here we are. Awesome, so I'm gonna need to expand this a little bit, because in this location, I think there are also 3 levels here. 91, 56, and 14. Yep. Now at 91, there are only 2 locations. That is fine. Please tell me this is not a Mark 1. It might be. That's not right. Yeah, and I don't have a Mark 2 with me. Oh, give me a sec. Luckily, this is not far away. So I have some elevators now. Now to upgrade, basically you just point at it once you've selected the one that you want. I don't think it matters if you select the top or bottom in this case. Works the same with conveyor belts. You have the higher tier, you have it on you, and you just hover over it, it turns green, and you click it. So there we go, number 2. Now what I may do with this one is when I'm depleted on the first level, take that one down to the 3rd level. In the meantime, I do want to have another one ready for another level. So there'll be 2. That means I just need a bit more space, and I'm going to start over here so I can get the size that I want. And it will be 32 by 30, oh my gosh, there, 32 by 32. And I have a tree to remove, and I can do that with my fancy mining tool. So I need the start pad, which I will put over there. Excellent. And then I'll get a nice big storage right into there. This one I'll put sideways. Oh, yeah, I think that's gonna be okay. Yeah, I did that while I was doing the original setup, and I'm not happy with it now. But anyway, I'm sure we'll be fine. I'm only going to use 2 ports anyway. Or not. Maybe I'll use 3. Yeah, I'm going to use 3. Alright, outputs there and inputs on this side, like that. That should get us all that we need coming through. And yeah, someone in the comments said we must just use all the belts. I don't know if I want to use all the belts because they're transferring it more than I need. The facility's there, why not? So outputs over here and inputs over there. Great. Now we are completely set up upstairs. Downstairs, different story. As you can see, we have things. We don't have a transformer, and I think I fortunately brought one. There seems to be some water coming down here in a nice neat sheet. So obviously I ran out of platforms while I was down here. Or I arrived with no platforms. Oh, look at that. There's water on the floor now. Yeah, I'd have to do something about this anyway, because I wouldn't be able to go lower if I left it like this. So let's just do... Oh, wow, I'm not a fan of the stepping in water thing. I'll take those out. Okay, so now the water can go way down there somewhere. Yeah, that's not cool. That's going to bother me the whole way down. Anyway, that's fine. Have enough space for the transformer. So we'll add that in and connect it to the pole. There we go. That means I can start taking this stuff up. So you don't need a floor unless you want to have lights. You don't really need a floor to go all the way to the mines. Let's go and have a look. I mean, you're not going to be able to walk very well. But we have a double point here. This is doing 320. And then coming around the other side, we have another double with another 320. So these are all coming in. They are all plugged in. I'm not even going to bother with floors here. But I do need to put inserters here and here. And why? No power. Right there. Oh, need to put the transformer on the actual floor, I think. I hope that was the problem. Try again. There we go. Now they're working. Okay, so these belts can transport 640 at the moment. They are transferring 320. They're going into the elevator that transports 640. So we're getting 640 up at the top. And not much more I need to do here. Yeah, back up at the top. It hasn't quite arrived yet, but I would like to grab a couple of pieces because I forgot to grab them at the bottom. There we go. That's more than enough. And everything is set up here except we'll call this one TL drop and save that. No, wait, this is not TL. Yeah, so the destination is TL drop, but I feel like I've typed that before. All right, so this is going to take a little time to fill. I'm going to head back. All right, so before I do this, I'm going to extend the floor a little. We're going to need this space anyway. And then down over on this side, I'm just going to put down our test line. So this process starts with crushers, and we have crushers. So in the crusher, we'll have the recipe to make Telluxite ore out of the rubble. So we can do that. And that's why I brought some with me, because you can click the button and it puts it in. So 320 per minute. That means I can have 2 of these. Then the next step in the process is to use the advanced smelter to turn the Telluxite ore into Telluxite ingots. All right, so smelter. And then we'll put out, oh, I didn't take the stuff out, but we can put it in here. Manage inventory. There's only 2. I don't know if it's enough to actually show. Well, it's enough to show, yeah. All right, so we are getting 160 out of here. This takes an input of 60. I'm not sure if that's changed. So 2 of them would be 160. Now this takes 60. If I did, oh gosh, that's not going to be. So 60 will give you 15. 120 will give you 30. 180 would give you 45, but 160 will give you 40. Okay, so it's basically 3 smelters. 3 smelters will give you 40 out of that. So the next step then is to take that Telluxite ingot and make the liquid Telluxite. And that we need a machine that we haven't seen before, that I just need to pick up out of my personal container. And it's a pretty big one, and it's called an electric arc furnace. And that is very large. Right, missing building foundation. Oh gosh, did I put it off the edge? I did. So we can configure this machine, and we want to do that. It takes in 40, which is exactly what we're going to get out of 3 of these with 2 of these crushers input. I'll confirm my numbers. I'm pretty sure I'm right though. So if we put 320, we're only getting 160. At that ratio, 160 will give us 40. Yep, I think I'm right. I mean, we'll be underutilizing one of the smelters, but that's fine. So that 40 will come in here and give us 2,000 of the Telluxite liquid. Then there's another step, and that step is to create the wafers. Yep, so from the liquid, we need wafers, and for that we need a casting machine. Pop one in over here. Now, I've done this once before, but I forgot about everything, and it looks like our recipe has changed. So that takes 1,000, so we can have 2 casting machines, and they'll be putting out 5 wafers. And the final step is a chemical processor. Oh, hang on, let me just make sure. Yep, it's made in a chemical processor. So let's just whack one of those down and see how many we'll need of that. So far it's 2 crushers, 3 smelters, 1 electric arc furnace, 2 casting machines, and yep, the recipe hasn't changed. I still need 10 of these because we'll be making a total of 5 wafers. These each take 0.5, so yep, definitely going to need that. And we need to throw some olumic acid in and some polymer board, both of which I conveniently have nearby. So let's get this started. Now I'm going to start with the crushers. Now I don't have any crushers on me. I just need to go and pick up a few things. Especially I need to make 10 of these because I don't have 10. I've only got this one, but I have plenty of casting machines. All right, so we're good. So once I've decided on the layout and I've seen how big it's going to be, especially with those 10 machines, then I will put the target pad down over here somewhere. So let me get myself prepped. I do believe I have everything I need. And the first place I'm going to need the CPUs is down on this side, so I don't need to have it double back. That is good. And I'll have space for a storage container for the Telluxite ore rubble. And this is going to be wide enough for whatever bus type system I try and put in over here. So good. We will start with the first crusher. Give it a little bit of space. 2 of those. Good. And then we'll put a storage box. We'll give it a bit of space so we don't get in the way of the smelters. And then we'll belt out into these 2. And these will be set to Telluxite ore for both. Good, that is done. Now these will feed out into 3 smelters, and I can literally just do a double around. So 1, 2, and 3. I don't know why I put them that way around, but that's okay. We'll take this, we'll belt it. Might as well come out just a little bit, and then bring this down to there. Okay, so out of these into these. Perfect. The next thing that we need is that big chunky guy over there. Now, let me see where the ports are. That is not the one. That's the output. I think I'd like the output to be on this side, on the front side. It doesn't really matter, I don't think. Yeah, that just means that the panel must be facing me if I'm looking in this direction. So we'll rotate it around, make sure that it is on the line with the other machines. This just needs an output that will wrap around and go in there. Let's see. Yep, there's ports on this side. This can come out, do this, and just wrap that. Well, we don't have to wrap it too far because this is only going to be inputting one. Good, so that's set up. The next is the casting machine. So let's get rid of this. And I think I said I need 2 of these. Yes, 2. Oh, and before I do that, this has an input, which is on the side. So if the input over here, let's just test the output. You don't see the output until you've selected the recipe. So it's going to come out of here. That means that the panel needs to face me on this one. Okay, good. And these can be fairly close together. They don't need to be too far apart because it's just the pipe from there to here. But we will leave a little bit of walking space and just set the recipe to make sure that we have it right. That's great. Now I can bring a pipe. I'll tee it off over here, let the pipe come down here and feed into the second machine. Right, so that is done, and that is going to create our wafers. Perfect, the wafers will come out on a belt, and this is where things get a little trickier, because we need 10 chemical processors. Let me remove this casting machine, and decide how I'm going to lay out the chemical processor, because it also has a liquid input, but it also has a couple of solid inputs. So let me, let's see, we could put it over there, with the panel inwards. Oh, there's something I didn't notice before. There's a paint recipe now. Oh yes, I think that's to paint the robots. A necessary step. So, CPUs. It has 2 inputs, and I have an idea. If we put... Okay, so we've got 1. We need a belt, an output belt, and another belt, and then a space. I'll put that there. I could have 2 rows of 5. Let's just check, because the input for the liquid Olumite is over here. I mean, they're not going to line up. Wait, that's water. Wrong recipe. Alright, so they're not going to line up, but that's okay. If I was to, for example, bring this belt around here and put the wafers in over there, have the CPUs come out over there, and then bring in the polymer boards. Actually, I wouldn't need a ramp. Actually, I might. But anyway, that's the thought process. And then a single pipe down the middle feeding all of these machines their Olumite acid, which I have now also added to the bus because I had spares, so there it is. Huh. Man, this is all very possible. And if I remove these and I put a big storage over here, this will be where the CPUs are stored. I mean, I probably should have had this whole setup a little bit further back, but actually I'm not worried about that. So let me break this polymer line, put in a balancer. Was that too far in? Maybe a bit further back. And then we can bring this line in this way. So this is our polymer sheets. And what I may do is just make a little ramp. Yeah, I'm going to do that. We'll let our CPUs escape. Ramp down. No, I'm pretty sure. No, I didn't. Ramp down there. Ramp up there. And bring that across. And feed it into the storage. Then I can take it out of the storage to send it to wherever I want to. And the first place being that little spot over there, which I will take it underneath the floor so that I don't mess up the bus. And to be perfectly honest, this whole setup needs to be raised anyway. So if we're going to stay consistent with our builds, then we need to do this. And hopefully I've lined it up correctly, and this will just go straight in there. Perfect. So there go the polymer boards, and then they can continue on the bus. The rest of the stuff that I might need can come through on the bus over here and carry on down to the robot factories. Lovely. Now I just also need to turn the Olumite pipe, so I think I'll take it through on an earlier line, tee it off over there. So this is olumic acid. Actually, I need to recheck, is this the one that it wants? Okay, now it's going to need to come through on that line, but I know that there's going to be a couple of pipes in front of this, so I'm going to make it hop the line. So we will do that and put a T in there, bend this down so that it can continue its travels, just like that. And then I can bring this pipe over and I will drop it starting over here. Okay, so that's there, and that's it. That's just a little bit of a bend over here. And I do have a habit of not connecting things, so I will bring a pipe through, and there's going to be 10 of these machines, so we must bear that in mind. And then we're going to take out the ones where we are going to tee. So I'm going to extend this platform. Now that we know where everything is, I know where I can start the target pad for the deliveries. So I'm going to clear out, I'm going to extend the platform, and I'm going to put 2 rows of 5 of these in. And with this going in, that is the layout complete. This is what it looks like. Okay, I haven't finished connecting pipes and belts and plugging things in, but yep, there we go. So I can set the name here to TL drop, save. Hopefully I named the other one. Yep, incoming cargo ship, distance less than 500 meters. Awesome. So now I can start connecting everything. Good, we have the first stuff coming in. Excellent. And now we can start feeding the system. So we'll do an output there, a couple of inputs over here. So that's going to start making the goods. Outputs there and there. Inputs just like that. Outputs on the other side. And then I need to extend this belt down. Actually, no, I don't. I'll just put it over there. I forgot it was just one huge machine. Right, so that is going in. Let's go and check. Yep, perfect. Right, now I need to bring out the Telluxite juice. Yes, it's a pipe I forgot to do. So I'll bring that up to... Let's bring it to there. I'll pop a T in here. Put that in. Connect it with a pipe. So that's the first one connected. Then this is going to come down, bend over there, bend over here, and pipe into there. Now hopefully, because I make this mistake so many times, I actually have the pipes in the right place. That one's working, that one's working. Absolutely brilliant. Now it's going to have outputs. Outputs over there and there. So we should start seeing the Telluxite wafers coming out. There we go. Well, it's slow. It's pretty slow. We're getting a total of 5 per minute. So we're going to see one come through here every like 12 seconds. I'll let that line back up a little bit while I'm fiddling around with other stuff. So in total, we're going to be making 40 per minute of the CPUs. And that should be enough for a fairly long time. But I have a feeling that we'll probably end up with another facility like this somewhere. All right, so I'm going to copy the recipes, shift right button, and then with the little tablet up, shift left, all the way down the line. Make sure to get the last 2 machines. And am I missing platforms? Oh, right here. Are we sorted? We are. And the recipe is set. So just inputs, outputs, and pipe connections. And once that's done, I will be back.
Beneath the molten, in the heart's embrace, searchers roar, a deadly grace. Through the trials where the shadows chase, he finds his strength, a warrior's place. In the ash and dust where legends wake, he forges on, the earth will quake. In the flames where embers dance, its searcher's game. He builds in shadows, he thrives. Survival's his name through the scorched terrain. Under the endless fire skies, let me take you there, where Smelter reigns, fire and stone, where the wild flames grow. Let me take you there, where Smelter reigns, fire and stone, where the wild flames grow.
And with that, it looks like everything is working. So all the pipes are connected. It appears that all the belts are connected. It's a good thing we have a lot of ports. I nearly used all of them. That's working. Yeah, I think access through here is a little bit tricky, but these are working. That one is not doing anything. What's going on with you? It's missing... Oh, it's missing the wafers. chances are that's going to happen. Those are fine. Okay, well, I'll just keep rechecking, making sure that that's working. But right now, it looks like we have CPUs. Oh, there they go. Now, we need to come over here and have a look at what is needed. Right here, we just need 0.5. So in total, these two only need 1 CPU per minute. That's cool, because I'm making 40. So the rest of the 39 will head down the line to make robots. Okay, well, we've got a few minutes worth of research, so I'm going to grab a line out of here. Let's see where my bus is going to come through, probably around here. So we'll have a hole in the platform and we'll bring it down. That's fairly close to the line that I wanted, so good. An output over there. I'll have to put an input in as well. There you go. We're getting some stock. Actually, we've done pretty well. And then on this line, I'll break out a few foundations here. An up ramp like that. Grab the belt, run the belt through to there. We're going to have to just extend those. And then I can set all the inputs. And that is that. The last thing I need to do is just connect these two up. So bring the belt over and connect. Come on, bring me the CPUs. There we go. Those are in, and we are making tier 5 research packs. Look at that. It's working. And everything's fairly well balanced out. The only thing that could go wrong is I run out of stuff at a mine. But that's easily fixed. I'm going to have this line to the research packs as a permanent line, and then I'll have another line feeding out onto the bus. So, something like that. But I'm not going to connect it up just yet. And we are building up a good stock, so we'll be able to make lots of robots. So the one thing I don't think I've connected this up to, I definitely haven't, to our research machines. And I also don't have a buffer set up, so I might as well get that done as well. And put the outputs on these machines, and there's our science packs. They produce slowly, but that's okay. No, I haven't done any space station upgrades. Oh, this was actually a really good little build. It worked out so nicely. So let's get some space station upgrades going. I haven't done space station upgrades for a very long time. Hey, look at that, a sign. So let's go and see. Okay, we've got some upgrades we can do. Let's get these done. Efficiency and price. Let's get the efficiency so that we use less stuff to make it. And we'll do a price one as well. Very good. And the vacuum bot's got a couple as well. Same thing, efficiency and price. And we'll be making more bots because we need a couple more to get market dominance. Station upgrades. I did the whole upgrade, so we have a whole bunch of things available to us. Construction drones, better construction allows us to finish construction work faster. It can be built indefinitely. Well, yeah, that's fine, but I don't want to do that. We don't really need any more solar panels. It'll give us an extra 50, but I don't need that right now. What I really would like, space hangar upgrades. That's going to give us space for more ships. Nope. Docking facilities, medium cargo. So, oh yes, that's a good one. Then we can get the medium cargo ship tier 2, and we can see what that's all about. All right, we'll start that one. And let's have a look at our research. Now that we've got the Science Pack 5s going, I think the conveyors. You know what? I'm going to sort myself out first. I don't need any of this stuff right now. They're nice to haves, but don't really need them yet. I want to get faster jetpack. Okay, I'm going to queue that up. It's not going to start because I haven't connected up the tier 5 packs. And maybe I should get that done now. Let's see, where are they coming out? Over there. I could take them. Yeah, I'll take them onto that side. It's convenient. Just to there, ramp it down, put my light on so I can see what I'm doing. Ramp that down, throw this across, 3-lane input there, and there. Well, now we're researching, I think. Yep, we are 1%. Good, that has started. You'll also notice my pipe expanded quite a lot, so it became complex. One of them turned red, so I just decided to put pumps up here, and also gave me an opportunity to build something that looks a bit like a pipe support. So wherever I need pumps, I'll just do one of these, and it doesn't look too bad. It does look like we are building up a good stock. The CPU is stacked to 200, so I will be able to amass a whole bunch of them before we even start with the robots. But in the coming episodes, there will be some big things happening. I would like to improve my water storage and my oleomite storage, so a couple of biggish tanks. I'm still on the fence about what I'm going to do with the radio tower. It takes 10 megawatts of power, which is a huge amount considering that's less than we have available at the moment. I'm not sure if it's worth it. It just gives us remote access to the space station, so I don't have to keep running back to the console. But like someone in the comments said, you could just put a couple of those consoles around wherever you're spending time and maybe just carry one with you and put it down when you need it. But I will think about it, and we'll do what needs to be done when the time is right. I do need to expand my power, and that reminds me, I haven't replaced my facility for the solar panels and batteries, so I'm going to have to do that. And I have most of what I need sort of around here, not too far away. It might be a bit of a mess, but I could do it over here. One last thing that I should mention, I brought in the support for our rods and plates. They are coming in from the bus line underneath, and the way I've done that is I basically just dipped the belt underneath the platform. I've taken a lane off and then brought them up over here, and at the moment I have priority set to what's coming from this little setup, but it is being supported because obviously there's a lot more usage than I'm producing. So it's being supported by our bus line, which means I need to go back to all of those mines and make sure that they're all okay and increase the output on all of them, because we need to get to fracking as quickly as possible so I don't run into that ignium situation again where the veins that I'm mining stop working because they've reached the core. Oh, and by the way, when you reach the core, don't remove your mine, because that'll start working again when you fracking. And that's where we are. If you like this video, give us a like. If you want to see more, subscribe, hit the bell icon for notifications. Leave me your comments. Let me know your thoughts on my fantastic CPU facility. It looks quite neat, I think. But we have advanced into the final stages, and we can look at completing all the research. Well, we never do, because there are a couple, I think, the mining efficiency and the pump check efficiency, which are unlimited researches. But you can see where I'm going here. I'm building the robots that I need to get market dominance in certain areas, but it's not going to stop me from building other ones as well. So this line will continue down, and we'll have a whole bunch. And then the line coming down here, I'll bring down just what I need to make the robots. Just the robots that I need. And we'll have robot factories down here. And then we'll have the big constructions in here, so the long-range scanner can be in here, the radio tower can be in here. And we'll see what else we can do with this area. And then, like I said before, on the far side, on the other side of the delivery depots, where we'll have the huge blast furnaces eventually. But those are very, very late game. But thank you very much for joining me, and until next time, cheers!